Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Real Estate on the Rocks. I'm your host, Dave Snowberger, and I'm joined in the studio today with my co-host, Marshall Tucker.
How's it going?
And Alicia Hooper.
Hey, hey.
And the guy behind the glass, the man behind the glass, the mind behind the glass, James Mendez. What's
New
going
guy.
on? New dude.
New dude.
New dude.
Oh, I like that better. New dude.
New dude. All right, shut his mic off. Here we go.
I'm still in control.
All right, so the guy behind the glass this weekend had drill. I got plenty of jokes for that, but I'll let him go.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, James. Let me see here. And he comes back. It's Tuesday. We just switched offices into our new Top Shelf Agents World headquarters. And so everybody's looking a little overwhelmed. And I just heard our admin in my ear. So now I'm overwhelmed as well. Let's keep moving forward and hope everybody in their cars right now doesn't hear Melanie over there negotiating one of our deals.
Yeah.
So here we go.
They're
with
keeping her
that.
busy. It's all
and
good.
So the topic today would be, are you feeling overwhelmed? And some tips, tricks, and actionable items we can do to hopefully help you clear your head and get back to it. All right, here we go. So one thing that I famously do with my admin, Melanie, is we sit down, and when I'm feeling overwhelmed or I'm feeling stressed out, is we do a brain dump. And Marshall Tucker has been a part of these for the past 3 years. So I'm probably always feeling overwhelmed with as much things as as many activities as I try to keep up with all the time. So it's good to have this brain dump. However, I don't think a lot of people might have that support system like I do with Melanie or my friends Marshall. Right. And go ahead.
And that's where I would say turn to the pages. So if you don't have that someone that you can rely on to brain dump, journal. And just let it out.
Yeah. There you go.
Doesn't have to make sense. Just whether it's before bed so you sleep well, or as soon as you wake up so you have a great day, or both.
Right. And one thing I do actually is I don't write. I'll do it in a text message. Is I'll just kind of pull up a text message to maybe Melanie or Marshall or even my mom before. Yeah. And I'll just start typing away, and then I just sit there and discard the message. I never send it. I just get it all out of my head.
Right.
One thing though that I did want to do that we've been doing lately is I did this exercise with our team and with some of our coaching clients was doing a list, building a list of 20 activities that you do pretty much on a regular basis and get those down on paper, label them 1 through 20, and then prioritize them by importance and see where your head's at. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that we can do daily that we could probably more than likely eliminate from the list that add to your being overwhelmed, right? And so what are the things on there that we could definitely strike from that list? So I asked everybody to kind of look at this, and so we talked around the table for a little bit, and we came up with certain things. And definitely on the leaderboard needs to be lead generation or dollar productive activities.
Correct.
Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go through those activities, because I think if I had to sit down and write 20 of these things, I would struggle getting 20.
I stopped at 4.
20 things down on a piece of paper. Right. And you should, because you're that focused after 3.5 years. You know what you have to do to have the career and the life that you want. So you have been very purposeful about being myopic and consistent about narrowing that list down. So you're at 4. Right. And so some of these folks out there, they're doing so much. They think they have to do so much, work on their websites, work on Facebook ads, learn this, learn that, watch all these videos, instead of just doing the dollar productive activities that would actually help them.
Right.
Like
Legion.
There you go.
Yeah. So I do believe that everything matters in terms of building your business. So like the social media, website, etc. However, it's a matter of prioritizing them, like you said initially. So focus on your top 4, if that's what it is, Marshall, or whatever that looks like for you. And then what I call couch work. So that's the activities that don't make me money. Right. So that's where social media, website, paperwork, emails, whatever.
Right. And so I'll go back, and it's not that they're not important, and definitely those things are important, but they're supplemental to the things that you need to be doing every single day. I would say since we've put this kind of list in front of James, being the newest guy on our team, that let's just say that he raises activity by 10%.
Nice.
We've seen a difference.
That's awesome.
You know, we've seen him focus down on specific lead generating activities, calling expireds, calling for sale by owners, running some open houses, doing those type of dollar productive activities. And then the strongest thing that's in that top 5 is lead follow-up. Even answering your phone should be in that top 5.
Right.
Right. And so those things aren't supplemental to your income. That's the stuff that you have to do. You must know. And like the follow-up, we know it has to be fanatically fast, right?
Absolutely.
So it just has to be, you know, you have to have that system. And so let's work on these a little bit. So lead generation, let's go with the top 5. What do you find is the most dollar productive activity an agent can do? Any agent, an agent just starting out, an agent getting back into the career, or a grizzled vet, you know, like what is that they have to do consistently every day?
So if you're breaking down lead gen, that is making phone calls, whether you are calling FSBOs or expireds, making phone calls to agents, having those agent to agent referrals. Those are huge. Your sphere, open houses, and networking.
There you go.
Or door knocking.
Door knocking is a big one.
I would say door knocking before networking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typically on just a sidebar real quick, networking, who are you networking with? Are you networking with other agents maybe? Or are you networking with like a BMI type of group where your other professionals that might send you referrals?
So it's mainly for me, agent to agent. I have found that I have great success with that. And so if there's a networking event that just like plays into my passions, whether it's a hobby or whatever, then I'll like my Jeep group. Right. That kind of stuff, you know.
What Jeep group is that?
Austin Jeep people.
Oh, wow. You guys are weird.
What? Get out of here.
We're like a cult.
Nah.
Marshall, what are you doing over there?
Kind of like a cult.
Shut up.
Well, I want to say first, if you're feeling overwhelmed is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just managing everything that's coming at you. So if you're overwhelmed, that means you got some things in the fire. You got some things happening. For you. So that's a good
overwhelmed
thing.
could be good. Yeah,
it's a good thing. I'd rather be overwhelmed than underwhelmed.
There you go.
Well, and I had a coach one time that said, don't even have that word in your vocabulary and say, and just say, look at all these opportunities I have.
Right. So mine's a little bit different. I like to start from the morning. So when I first wake up, I got to eat a little something, get some breakfast in me, get that brain moving, a little bit of exercise, and then I have my, most people meditate or whatever. I have my brain dump. So that's
you say eggs or sides?
Exercise. Oh, I didn't say breakfast. But I write everything down on a notepad, like everything that I think I need to do today, any kind of contractual stuff, any people that are kind of popping into my head, and then I guess I go through it and I prioritize it and see what I can knock out of there, what really needs to be taken care of, etc. So after I make that list, then I jump on the calendar, and that's time to start time blocking because I want to make sure I plan my day out. Once you plan your day out, the day will go a lot smoother. You will feel a lot less overwhelmed.
And honoring that schedule, right?
Right.
As a solo agent, it's very easy, especially when you have deals going on. Like for me, like yesterday was probably one of the most stressful days I've had in my real estate career. And I did 0 lead generation because I was putting out fires.
Right.
So really like honoring that schedule and knowing that, hey, okay, this may be a fire, but it's still going to be there at 12 o'clock. Go ahead and do your lead gen.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you should also put your email in on your time block as well.
Absolutely.
That's a distraction. You're not going to be focused if you're too busy responding to all these fires that could probably wait just an hour or so.
Sure.
So it's a little bit of script practice and then lead gen, lead follow-up. And then sometimes I find myself so busy on appointments that I really forget to eat again until about 6 or 7 o'clock at night. So grabbing a quick bite to eat, having some kind of snack bar, anything like that in your car is really good because you have to keep your brain working.
This is a squirrel moment.
Go.
When I was getting my real estate license and I was in the class at Champions, one of the broker instructors was like, when I got into real estate, I forgot to eat. Like I would be at night and be like, why do I feel so weird? Oh my gosh, I didn't eat today.
Your mind doesn't function.
And I was like, what? Because I'm a foodie, right? And I was like, how do you forget to eat? That makes 0 sense. Like 2 weeks into real estate, I was like, I get it.
It's part of taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. So you got to make sure you're taking care.
Set reminders on your phone. You put them in your calendar.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so that's in mine.
I keep snacks in the car too.
Everything.
I like it.
And snacks. Yeah, that helps.
Yep.
And then going in on appointments after lunch, and then if I don't have any appointments, then it's working on the business, the media, social stuff like that. So.
All right.
Get it.
Nice job.
Thank you.
What about your family, man?
My family, they're in there.
Oh, I missed it.
They're right after media, etc.
James, what's your new guy day look like other than painting walls and putting out fires for us?
Yeah.
Being that utility guy for us.
Just trying to stay focused and responding to the messages that I get, making the phone calls and answering questions and just trying to stay on top of people as much as I can.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Stay on top of issues.
I'm sorry, I missed the
And
joke.
following through.
Right over
Make
my
sure
head.
everything's is well taken care of. And then I get distracted a lot because I don't say no very well. So I end up just piling on and trying to do more things. And like speaking of not eating, we did our exercise in the morning. Mm-hmm. I was feeling a little lightheaded at the very end when I was talking to one of the officers. I was like, what? Why do I have like no energy? What's going on? And then I realized that we had lunch here at the office Friday afternoon. And then I stayed till I think I got home around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And, after doing everything. And then I woke up in the morning at like 4, got to work, did PT or physical training. And then, I hadn't eaten since lunch yesterday.
Oh, geez.
Lunch the day before.
Yeah, that'll make you pass out.
Yeah. So I was feeling a little lightheaded, so I had to go get some
Well, it's not a dollar productive activity, but put it on your list.
stay focused.
Time block to eat.
Yeah, time block to eat.
That's right.
I don't have that problem. Go to Orange Theory, come home, have a shake.
Nice.
Good nutrition.
Feel your further.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do that. Some nutritious.
Yeah.
Head to
Yeah.
work with my mind just full of stuff, and then I come in here every morning and do a brain dump, and these guys are like, shit. I gotta listen to Dave for the next hour.
They're like, Dave, I need to lead gen.
Yeah. Then I get on them for not lead generating. I'm just giving them tips and actionable items that they could use every day in their careers.
Right.
So we decided that instead of doing that, we'll just start doing this, pouring it into a podcast. So I just always, my day starts with, obviously we know Orange Theory and things like that, but dollar productive activities would be right now is staying top of mind in my people's world. Like I market, so I cast a wide net. I do follow up fanatically when someone does call me. I am sure to get back to them as fast as possible. I do pick up my phone unless it's a number that I don't recognize, being starting with an 888 or an 800.
Yeah, seriously.
Which usually just somebody that has their hand out, or the boneheads over at Zillow want me to piss away money with them, whatever. And so just kind of get rid of all those distractions. And I run ad campaigns all the time to get my phone ringing and to get our phones ringing over here, and just kind of the best strategies I can come up with for our CRM and our lead generation. So really that's what I do for dollar productive stuff. And then coaching these guys, and then coaching some other people that I talk to throughout the day, usually puts my mindset and helps me work out all the crazy convoluted stuff in my head, and I get it out on paper, or I get it out. Typically, I could just speak about it, and Melanie writes it all down on paper. So,
Nice.
and then who knows where it goes from there? But yeah, she can walk in and I was like, "You said this," and I was like, "I don't care what I said." That was so yesterday. But once you get about 5 or 6 of these down, once you get your whole list of 20 down, really go through it. And I would say the top 5 are your top 5 for a reason. So I would X out the 15 you have that don't supplement your income or your business every single day. And so if it's not something that's going to put you in front of people to help more people, you're not going to make any money. Right. And so this business seems to be full of people that are like, oh, I do it for my clients, and it's like, and that's great. That's a great place to be, helping your clients. Right. Mm-hmm. But at the end of this, we need to run a more, an efficient business so we can grab a paycheck and we can be profitable. The bottom line in real estate is profit. We do this for a profit. If you're not
what is this profit you speak of?
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we're not
my way.
We're not a nonprofit agency, right?
That's right.
So we don't work for free.
That's
and
right.
so and people that we help don't expect us to work for free.
Right.
And so you really need to, what's that? Yours too? Yeah. I mean, it's not a volunteer job, right? So I don't volunteer to go show houses. I certainly don't do that. So
Heck no.
just try to keep everything at the dollar productive state. And then, don't fool yourself that shuffling paperwork from one side of the table to the other, and then, opening your laptop and turning it on, and then looking at Facebook and, I'm looking at Facebook so I can see if there's any referrals out there. Be purposeful about it and get out there and get referrals. Go, if you're going to be on Facebook every morning, one thing that we do as a team is we wish everybody on our social media, whether we know them or not, we wish them happy birthday.
I love it.
And we try to include something with a CTA at the end, a nice little call to action. Like, are you going to do anything fun today?
Yeah.
And then if they answer, cool. Now we've got a dialogue. We feel like we know each other and we build from there.
Yep.
Right. And so.
Absolutely. I was going to say, no matter how you approach it, what exercise you do, whatever, my experience in my 3 years of real estate has been that it always comes down to the one thing, right? Mm-hmm. And what is that? and that is lead gen.
Right.
So if you have this mental block on lead gen to grow your business, find a way to get creative with it. So I went to a Tom Ferry class and he said, okay, don't call it lead gen, call it my son's graduation. And at the end of the day, you say, did I work on my son's graduation fund today? Or did I put it off? Or did I work on my Florida vacation today? Or did I put it off? Whatever that is, rename it. It's just another way to approach it.
Yeah, no, we've actually done that. I was in Tom Ferry coaching for quite some time.
Nice.
And so I took a lot of his stuff to heart. And, these guys have joined me. Well, I don't think James has, but Marshall certainly has joined me in traveling to different destinations for their different groups.
Yeah, they're great.
And I don't know if you ever found, the stuff as helpful as I did. However, I would take those things, bring them back, and then the rest of the team, we would teach them to just kind of really doing these things. But that was one thing that we always touched on right there was don't look at it look at it as the dollar productive, what you're going to use the money for.
Right.
My son's graduation.
Right.
Or my son's college fund, and just things like that. And so, put that into your.
Yeah. And it can play into your why. So that way it's just that's maximized or whatever, or it can be something completely different. Like you have a trip coming up or, whatever. So.
I do have a trip coming up.
Whoop, whoop.
Me too.
So have you been working on that?
Day.
All day.
So what else you got for us, Marshall?
What else do I got for you?
Besides talking to the microphone.
Don't let other people's fires become your fires. So the importance of time blocking that email, etc. Because if you jump on there and then someone's having a big problem that to you it could wait till the afternoon or later or whatever, you can fix it quickly or whatever. Don't jump on the email, respond to it, and make that fire your problem as well.
That's one thing right there that I thought was very trivial that I had a coach tell me once was just shut off all your alerts on your phone. Mm-hmm. Like stop distracting yourself, because that's the thing is the minute you start making headway and just say maybe calling expires, your phone pings from an email or a text message or a buddy, what are you doing after work? Hey, we're going to Top Golf, whatever else. Can you make it? And then, all of a sudden, yeah, I can make it, and
then you're at Top Golf.
Right.
Like in your head.
Right. And then you're at Top Golf the rest of the day and, just kind of, or if you leave and go to lunch and meet there.
Right.
When you had other things to do, it's like, oh, I'll knock off lead gen until tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Remember, anything you do today that's dollar producing pays off. It doesn't pay off immediately. It's 30, 60, 90 days out from anything. So it's the more you do, it's the compound effect. The more you do, the little bites you eat every day get you towards the bigger goals. And the bigger goals is to help more people so you can collect a paycheck at the end of helping these people.
That's right. And if your daily goal is to have 20 conversations about real estate and you only hit 10 today, what's your goal tomorrow? 30. Good job.
Right. But if you put it off all week long,
then
if you take a week off, which we're about to experience because last week was full of moving. Yep. Like there wasn't a ton of lead gen going on. There wasn't a ton. We're still working all of our clients.
Yeah.
We still, Marshall still wrote an offer or two, I think. And, James does whatever he does.
I have one under contract. I'm negotiating that. And I was keeping up with it. There's more follow up.
You were keeping up with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I wish with that money.
I guess Snow really likes you. You're still here.
He's a hell of a painter. His new name is actually new name is actually Rembrandt.
Nice.
Because Marshall and I are sitting here painting the wall, and he's just you could tell that he's bothered.
Over our shoulder.
Right. His dad and his grandfather were part of the painters union out in California, I believe, and so
he's got me believing I'm colorblind.
He's been gifted. Third generation painter.
And he's like, look at the brown. There's no brown in that wall. My eyes are brown. That's it.
Yeah,
Third
that's totally blue gray. Yeah.
So I could tell the way I was painting was just bothering him.
That's
and
hilarious.
I knew when I walked away and came back that Marshall would say something. He's like, yeah, James is on it. Yeah. James gave me a quick lesson on painting.
Nice.
I was like, oh, so he'll tell you, but he won't tell me.
That's funny.
But the walls look actually absolutely beautiful. So,
yeah, they look great.
The new studio is fantastic. So I hope everything's coming through well. So quick episode. We have anything else to touch on real quick?
Nope. Just prioritize and honor your schedule.
Right.
And emotions and feelings they will come and go. Just learn how to address them, control them, address them, and move on. We don't want our emotions to control our day.
No, you have to. Let's touch on that real quick.
Sure.
Emotions controlling your day.
Yeah.
You've got someone on the hook. You work with them 2-3 days. Most agents these days coming into the market center, they're not used to how this works.
Right.
They lack the I'm not going to say
Experience.
experience that. most people that are reaching out on a online platform, if it comes through from a website or you were handed a lead or you ran an ad on something, more than likely you're not the only agent they contacted.
Right.
And so when they choose to go a different direction or they choose to ghost you and not pick up the phone and respond to any more of your emails, there's certain things you could do out there. We always say send them a quick text to say, hey, did I do something wrong? ? And nobody ever wants you to feel like you did anything wrong, so they're going to respond to you.
Yep.
And they're going to say, no, it's not you, it's me. I'm just not ready yet.
So cliche.
I don't qualify yet, and ask more questions.
Sure.
So then it becomes a conversation about questions. So questions. Keep asking questions. What do you mean you don't qualify right now? Who did you speak with? Oh, I talked to my wife.
Right.
I talked to my husband. They said we don't qualify. I'm like, are they lenders? Mm-hmm. So let's get you in front of a professional. If not, like don't badger them, don't pressure them because you definitely don't want to lose them. But bring them over. And I see Marshall over there going, Mike. Driving me absolutely nuts today, bro.
He's got some sugar in him.
Apparently, he's got something in him.
No, that is a great point, because if they're ghosting you, number one, they could potentially not be motivated, right? So you only want to work with people who are motivated, willing, and able.
Right.
Or they just truly don't understand the process. So if you come from a place of contribution and you're always educating the other person and explain how you run your business, you'll be surprised where the conversation goes.
Even if they're ghosting you, don't give up on them.
That's right.
Because I've had people that disappear on me, and 2-3 months later they pop back up. They just get busy. They have stuff that happens.
Yeah,
life happens.
People have lives. I mean, we talked about this in a show before, but James and I were driving down the road. And he goes, "Yeah, I did this open house right here," and a lady showed up, and she seemed super interested. And then she stopped returning my calls. I called her one night, and she said, "Let me call you back," and she never called. Well, at that point in time, she was probably cooking dinner. She was probably, maybe exercising, maybe, surfing the internet for something else, or, watching a show, doing something else. Most people think, and agents are guilty of this all the time, is that they think that maybe a potential client or a customer, I guess at that point would be a customer inquiry, is that they're on that agent's timeline. They're on their own timeline. It's our responsibility to dig deep and find out what their timeline is so we can adhere to that and work with them.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
And so James got a quick lesson in that, was like, hey, man, it's not about you. It's about when they can respond back. Basically, when we call people, we're disrupting their days.
That's right.
They're doing something. They're not sitting around waiting for your call.
Yeah.
They're not sitting around waiting for your text. Well, my clients are a little bit different.
Oh, geez. Here we go. Here we go.
I make my clients so much money. They're sitting on the beaches just waiting for me to say, hey, look, here's the next opportunity.
Boom.
No, just kidding. But you just have to be mindful of that. And so what is actually a client or a customer? And so let that 5-second funeral we talk about.
Yep.
If you find out they went a different direction, or, hey, we already bought, congratulate them. So let's go ahead and wrap this episode up. I think you can cut it right there.
People would driving down the road and be like, what the?
Right. So we had a little moment there where a coffee grinder apparently came into our
looking for a new kitchen studio.
Yeah, our MacBook. Our MacBook somehow picked up somebody else's coffee grinder, so we're sorry about that. But we do want to go ahead and get out of here for now. We thank you for your time, as always. If you need anything from us, you can reach us out on social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram, Top Shelf Agents on both of those. We also have pages for Real Estate on the Rocks. If you have any tips or ideas or want us to talk about something, just reach out to us, info@realestateontherocks.com. And we can never forget our lender, which is Mike Harrell, Austin, Texas. He lends all over Texas. He's an expert. I believe he goes into Arkansas and California as well. If you need to get a hold of Mike, info@realestateontherocks.com. Thank you. We enjoyed it. I hope you did.
Yeah.
See you next time.
I'm out.
Bye, y'all.